This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, hello all. Welcome to the next session on SAP ABAP. And in the last class, we have discussed about what exactly the ERP and what is SAP and some history of the SAP. So SAP stands for Systems, Applications, Products in Data Processing. And the SAP is in a product; it's not a technology, guys. So you know the difference between product and technology, right? So product means so they will give all the ready-made inbuilt applications. Technology means you are going to build from the scratch. So here in the SAP is the product, and SAP has built applications for the 26 LOBs and almost 60 plus modules. And the technology behind SAP is the ABAP, guys. So ABAP is the technology here, and ABAP stands for Advanced Business Application Programming Language. And here you can see there is an enterprise, and enterprise stands for ERP stands for enterprise and resource and planning. And we have different kind of ERP products, but in that SAP is the most popular product, and the revenue from the total revenue SAP is going to get in the world is almost the 45% of the share we are going to get out of the SAP software. Other 55% the remaining softwares are sharing, guys. That's the statistics of the SAP uh, revenue. That's what I heard in the last decade. So total 45% of the share they are going to get out of the software revenue in the world. That's the SAP stats. And so this is my modules. Here you can see there is an enterprise Amazon, and we have different kind of resources, and they are going to utilize this resource, and they will plan their business accordingly to get maximum benefits. And also SAP provides in a tight integration between all these modules, all the 60 plus modules. If you can see here, so there is an MM and FI and SD. So here what is the advantage of the SAP is whenever the invoice is created, automatically the finance account document will be created. So there is a tight integration between SD and FI, but there is no ERP software which is having this much of tight integration between the SD and FI. So not only this is one of the example, but also we have lot of tight integration between the all these resources and all these modules. That's the name one of the SAP, and also it supports 26 plus languages. And so this is my SAP architecture, and here you can see there is this SAP architecture is a client server architecture, and here I can have presentation layer and application layer and a database layer. And if you want to access your web applications, we are going to use the browsers. And if you want to access the SAP applications, we are going to use the SAP GUI. So SAP GUI here is the presentation layer, or I can say it's in a client. And application layer, all ABAP programs will run in the application layer. And database layer, all the data will be stored in the database layer, guys. And this is my R3 architecture. And in the last few decades, from 1972, the only one presentation is the SAP GUI. So we are going to access the SAP applications by GUI, but SAP has come up with UI technology as well. So you can access the SAP applications in the browsers as well, guys. That's the name, UI technology. By invention of this technology, there are a lot of analytics we are going to see in the SAP, the analytical applications. So and also you can see a lot of machine learning algorithms also in the SAP as well, guys. So that's what SAP has introduced in the HANA database with the UI5 and Fury technology. And this is what the architecture of the SAP. And so this is internet client server architecture where we can have browser, and there is a server, and as well as there is a database. So the request comes from the browser to the server. There is a programming language. This programming language is capable of taking the request as well as connecting to the database and storing the data and fetching the data back to the browser level, guys. That's the name, client server architecture. Why I have introduced this is most of the people are utilizing the web applications. So you will come to know, just comparing this architecture, you can compare this architecture. Here I can have a presentation layer and application layer and database layer, guys. So now today we are going to talk about in the architecture, not only these layers, And we have different kind of components we have in the SAP R3 architecture. And so this is a SAP R3 architecture. And so this is my presentation layer. I'm going to use the shortcuts, guys. Presentation layer. This is my application layer, and we have database layer. We have database layer. This is my database layer. You already know some of the database concept, RDBMS systems. So what are the database in the relational database management systems? And we have Oracle, MS SQL, and IBM DB6. And these are some of the RDBMS systems. And HANA is not a RDBMS. Okay, it's in a big database. HANA is in a big database in the SAP, guys. Okay, so uh, this is our architecture. And so whenever you access some application, whenever you do some request on the presentation layer, okay, so there are two components in the SAP. One is the dispatcher, and another component is the work process. Okay, there are two components. Okay, what dispatcher will do is it is it will take the request from PL presentation layer, and it will keep the request in queue. It will keep the request in queue, guys. Based on FIFO. What is FIFO? Perfect answer. First in, first out. So based on the request which is coming in, so based on that, it is going to release the request for the actual work, guys. That's the name dispatcher. This is the functionality of the dispatcher. Okay, it takes the request from the different users, and also here presentation means not only one user, guys. So the flexibility of this architecture is I can have multiple presentation layer. See, even in the normal client server architecture also, so the browser means Gmail application only one user will access. No, millions of user will access. So I can have millions of presentations or millions of the clients. Here also I can have n number of users in my architecture. So n number of users can access the SAP application. See, this is my one. Maybe I can say this is my presentation one and presentation two, and also I can have presentation 3, and maybe I can have presentation n, guys. This is my n number of presentation layer, n number of presentation layers. So here you can get the request from the one user and second user and third user and fourth user. And what exactly that this component will do is it will take up the request, it will keep it in the queue, and it will release the request based on the FIFO first in first out basis. And the work process is responsible to do actual work. So this is the work process. There is one more component, work process. So which is responsible to do the actual work. The dispatcher will release the work, but the work process is responsible to do the actual work. So there are types of work processor. Type of work processor we have. It's very important, guys. So in outside, normally most of the people doesn't know this, but when you attend SAP labs interview, definitely they will ask the system architecture. So this is the architecture. So this kind of information you will not get outside. So this is the system architecture. When you attend big companies, they are going to ask, they don't ask the what is SQL, what is select and all. They will ask the architectural questions. So that's why I'm introducing here. So first, before learning the technology, we should know the architecture of the system. And there are types of work processor we have. Work process shortcut is WP, and one is the dialog work process, and second one is the update work process, and third one is the uh, background work process, and fourth one is the message work process, and fifth one is the NQ work process, and sixth one is the gateway work process, and next one is the spool work process. So these are the types of work process we have in the system. We have in the system, guys. So NQ. Okay. Okay. Uh, Ignore. So these are the types of work process. Now, what exactly this type of work process? What this work process will do? Okay. So whenever I open a system, let's take example here. So this is my parent. This is GUI, guys. So this is the GUI screen, SAP GUI. So SAP graphical user interface. So just example, if I want to access my Gmail, this is my tool. This is my tool to access Gmail application, right? Gmail application. Here, if you want to access the SAP application, this is the tool. So SAP GUI is the presentation layer tool, and GUI stands for graphical user interface. And you need to have user ID and password. My user ID is the SAP user. It's a lab user, guys. And password is the India 123, India caps, I caps, I alone caps, and India 1234, I alone caps. So this is the presentation layer. And so whenever I am going to access some application, sales order application VA01. So I am requesting, you can you can think this is a URL, guys. So if you want to access your application, you need to enter the URL in the browser. Here also VA01, I am entering in a URL. Just think about that. I will explain what exactly it is and all later. So here I am entering URL. I am going to access my application. My application is the sales order create. So whenever I do an enter, see, so in the background there is a program for this application which is running, and it is giving back the request response back to the user. So this time, so here the work process is the dialog work process. So this is responsible to do the actual work. Here what it is doing, it is sending the request from presentation layer to the application layer. So this is whenever, if you want to send the request from the presentation layer to the application layer, the work process which is going to work is the dialog work process. The dialog work process, I can say, I will write small dialog, and this is responsible to take the request from the presentation layer and send it to the application layer. So it provides the communication between the presentation layer to the application layer, guys. That's the name dialog work process. That's a dialog work process. So it provides a communication between presentation layer to the application layer. So that's the name dialog work process. So dialog, it provides communication between PL to the AL. Just I am using shortcuts. So you have to write. This is a dialog work process. This is a dialog work process. And update work process. It provides communication between application layer to the database layer. So here my request is, in the application layer I am entering some value. So I am creating the order over here, guys. So double zero uh, uh, 1000 and distribution channel 10. I am creating a sales order. See, whenever you go to the Amazon, so you will click on a submit, right? So a order will be created. In the SAP I am creating that order, sales order creation. So this is my order, and enter. A little slow. So this is the customer. So whenever you sign up, there is a customer, a customer number will be generated. This is my customer number, and I am ordering some phone. Maybe maybe I don't have the configuration. Maybe so. This, let's take this my code for the MI phone. Maybe I can think like that. So my quantity is one quantity. I am ordering it, and this is my material. So this program, so there is a background program for this application which is running in the application layer. This is running in the application layer now. Yeah. So now you can see there is an 828 cost. It's in a euros. Okay, it's not a Indian rupees. So here this is in a this customer belong to the Europe. So the currency is the euro, guys. Okay, save it. So when you save it, so what happens? So the data, whatever I have entered, so that will be stored in the database layer. So here the update work process, this is responsible to communicate the request from the application layer to the database layer, guys. That's an update work process. Update work process. So here, this is the dialog work process, and this is the update work process, guys. This is the update work process. So update work process provides in a communication between application layer to the database layer, guys. That's the name, update work process. And now you see, so there is an order 20258 is has been created. So that means this order is updated in the database by using update work process, and go to the SE16. And so this is the access for the database table, and here I can see 20258, the order number from the database, and this is my order. You can see, so OR order type, and the value is the 828.30 euros, guys. So that's an update work process. So it's an inbuilt guide. You, there is no visibility to you, but it's an inbuilt SAP components and SAP architecture. There is no visibility what exactly the SAP is doing, and so this is what update work process is going to update the data. So which is going to take it is going to provide a communication between application layer to the database layer, guys. And this is done. And background work process, what exactly the background work process? Background work process, whenever we run the programs in background mode, background mode, so not just I'm changing my sentences. So this work process, it is responsible to run the programs in background mode. That's it. Okay. So this work process is responsible to run the programs in the background mode, guys. So why we need to run the programs in background mode? Why we need to run the programs in background mode? So just I will give one example, guys, why we need to run. See, so let's take an example of, this is the Apple company. Okay. So Apple is going to sell the products. Let's take an example of, so the products, you know, the famous product, right? So the product is iPhone. So you might know, right? In the iPhone, we have a application called iTunes. We have a application called iTunes. Okay. So whenever you order one song, it is on a one sales order. Okay. Whenever you order in a one song equal to the one sales order. Okay. So most of the people will not download only one songs, right? Maybe most of the people not less than 100 songs. Okay, I can say one user maybe they can download 100 songs. But look at the customers of the iPhone. How many customers we have in the world? iPhone customers, right? We have millions of the customers, guys. Millions of the customers we have, and into 100 it goes to the billions of the records. Billions of the records. Okay, if the company of the Apple would like to see the sales report, would like to see the sales report of this year in the worldwide, definitely there is an CEO. You would like to see the what is my annual sales in this year, right? So for that, what I need to do, I need to fetch the millions of customers. I need to fetch the orders related to the millions of customers, and I need to sum up that values. So how long it takes? So it takes not less than hours, not less than maybe it is going to consume lot of time. Is the CEO will wait? Suppose this is my program which is going to run for the hours. Okay, is the CEO will wait? First question. And so second question is the so your session will not be there is a time set, guys. So maybe you might see whenever you do transaction, if it is more than 1 or 2 minutes, you are going to get a timeout error. Here also there is a time limit. Almost we'll set 1200 seconds. What is the 1200 seconds? What is the maximum time? So calci mathematics 1200 seconds. Sorry, 12 by 6 to 20 minutes, guys. Maximum 20 minutes of the time we are going to set in the SAP. So once the 20 minute is crossed, you are going to get a timeout error. So you cannot run your report, the annual sales report, you cannot run in the foreground mode. Definitely what you need to do is you need to execute your program in the background mode. When the program is executed, then I can see the results, guys. That's the purpose of running the programs in the background mode. And background work process is the work process which is responsible to run the programs in the background mode, guys. That's the name, background work process. Next one is message. Already you know, guys. Simply tell me what exactly the message. Just it's a normal term, it's not a technical term. What exactly the message? What exactly the message? It's an information, right? It's an information. The information can be a error information. The information can be a warning information. The information can be a success information. It's an a logs, guys. So here also see, I will explain with this technology. It's simple. Whenever you go to the gmail.com, so there is a user ID and password. So you will enter user ID and password. If the password is wrong, you are going to get an error message. So incorrect password, type enter the correct password. So the message work process is responsible to handle the logs, guys. To handle the logs. That's the name, message work process. So what we are doing now, first of all, are you getting what we are discussing? So we are discussing the system, SAP system. Okay, if you want to learn anything, any technology, so first you should know the system. Okay, without knowing the system, if you learn anything, you will not understand. So that's why we are exploring about the system, what exactly the SAP and all. Okay, so message server, message work process. It is responsible to provide the logs. Okay, next one is the uh, message work process. and NQ. So this is also one of the good concept. NQ work process. Okay. So what exactly the NQ work process is? Suppose let's take an example of. So what is the client server architecture advantages? Multiple users can log in into the system, and there is a user one. There is a user two, and there is a user three. There is a user three. Okay. Just now I have opened one application. Just now I have created a sales order, right? So this is my 20258 sales order. Just I would like to edit this functionality. Okay. Just I am in a editing mode, and there is another user. There is another user, ID admin, IDS, ID admin, IDS, SAP star 0607. Uh, do you have another user ID? ID, yeah. So this is an ID admin. This is another user ID. So go to the VA02, and you want to do the some other changes you want to do in this sales order. Okay, you want to do the some changes to this sales order, which is opened by the another user. So this is another user, SAP user. If you want to see, you can see here. This is the SAP user, and he is editing this sales order number. Now the some other user, the ID admin, you want to do also another changes to the same sales order. So enter. So you can see the sales document is currently being processed by another user. You cannot edit this sales order, guys. So it is going to provide the locking concept over here. So NQ provides a locking of your data, and it is going to. So here the work process which is responsible to do the locks and unlocks is the NQ work process case. This is my data. So if you want to, if there are if there are a number of users want to do the want to edit the same application, so SAP doesn't allow. So definitely it will lock whenever user want to edit some information. SAP will lock that document. So some other users cannot edit that document. So the work that kind of work will be handled by the NQ work process case. That will be handled by the NQ work process. So that's the name, NQ process. It is responsible to handle the locks and unlocks. So whenever you edit, it lock the document. So whenever you complete your transaction, it will unlock that document, guys. That's an NQ work process. And next one is the a gateway. So gateway work. Suppose I have two SAP systems. Let's take an example of two SAP systems. So I have system. So SAP means it's not only one system, guys. Maybe I can have a number of SAP systems as well. Control V. So not now you will see this kind of systems. Maybe I have SAP BW system. Yeah, yeah, correct, perfect, correct. Yeah, it's a combination. Yeah. So see, the locking mechanism will be handled by the NQ work process, but to tell the information to the user, we need to raise an error message. So the message work process will raise for the user, guys. It's a combination of both the things. but here I am talking about individually. And if that is the case, so if you think in that point of view, so even the dialog work process also responsible, because you are sending some request and the application layer returning back the response. So that is the dialog work process also involved. Even the update work process also, it is going to fetch in the database level, so whether it is locked or not, so it will, the update work process return the response back to the application layer. So it's all combinations, but I am talking here individually what exactly the what work process will do, guys. Okay, yeah, that's a good question. And next, gateway work process. So I have example, I have two SAP systems. So if I want to do any communication between two SAP systems, so the gateway work process is responsible. Suppose if I want to send the data from BW, or not like this, and flip it, and if I want to send the data from SAP to the SAP BW, so here the gateway work process is responsible between the two SAP systems, not one SAP systems. So two SAP systems, it's a gateway work process. So guys, so here, so whatever we are talking about the actual work, so that we are going to discuss technical things. Okay, what exactly the lock? How can you do the lock? How can you unlock the lock? And how can you execute your program in a background mode? Okay, how do you raise the messages? How do you raise the messages? These are all the ABAPer. So how do you handle that kind of things in a technically? That work we are going to do. And the dialog work process, how you can design your user UI to the your SAP screens, and also update how you will update the data into the database. These are all the our ABAP concepts, guys. These are all the ABAP concepts. And next one is the spool work process. Okay, sorry. And this is my gateway work process. It is responsible to communicate the data from SAP to SAP system. SAP to SAP system. The last one is spool service. It's a simple. It is responsible to send the data from SAP to the external devices, guys. External devices. Let's take an example of. Let's take an example of. So um, I have a bank. This is my bank, ICICI Bank. So ICICI Bank, and okay, okay, is there is a one guy is the customer of is the customer of. So the is the customer of the ICICI. Okay, suppose after 1 month, what will happen? He has taken credit card from ICICI and is using his credit card. Okay, in the end of the month, what will happen? So he is going to get the bill. He is going to get the bill with detailed information, right? So the bill will be like this, right? So you can see the bill, how it look like. So maybe this is my bill. This is my, it's an A4 size page if you think. And here you can see the logo of the ICICI, and you can see the address of the ICICI. And here you can see the customer information, what is the bank account number and what is the customer address. And here you are going to see all the transactions which we did. And it's an hard copy of the of your statement. So you are going to receive the bill at the end of the month. So if you want to get a page, if you want to get a hard copy, what we need to do? Definitely from the system, I need to do a print. I need to do a print. Maybe here I don't have that option, and maybe I can go to the one other report SE38 and GEDG6. So I'm taking some of the report and some of the program. So here you can see there is a print option. So I can print here. I can connect to my printer. See, it's not a printer. Maybe I have an HP inkjet printer 200. This is configured in my system. So when I do the print, so that will be printed. This report is printed, and we are going to do that print courier to the customer address, guys. So when you want to connect to the your printer is the external device. So that time when you print the spool service, here you can see the spool work process is responsible to communicate with the external devices, guys. That's the name, spool services. It is responsible to send the data from SAP to the external devices. That's a spool work process. Okay, this is all about the system information, sorry, SAP architecture and component of the SAP architecture, guys. Component of the SAP architecture. Okay, let's we are going to go to the so the technology that the technology for the SAP is the ABAP, and now I am going to start about the ABAP concepts and ABAP concepts. So what exactly the ABAP? And so already you already know, right? ABAP again we'll talk. So it's an advanced business application programming. So this is the ABAP, and so we are going to start the first program in the ABAP, guys. So before going to the ABAP, even I need to talk about the screens, guys. So I'm doing a lot of things on the screen. So whenever I come to here, so this is my server, guys. I have different servers. So this is my server which is installed in the lab. Okay, so that server I am connecting via the LAN network. Okay, my server is not exist in my laptop, so that is installed in the in the lab. So I am going to access that server by using the LAN with the same network with the it's not an internet network, it's an intranet. By using intranet I am going to access that. So if you want to, first of all, whenever you go to the companies, you will not get these icons, guys. You will not get these icons. So first you need to know, so what exactly the host name or IP address of the server, and what is the system ID of the server. So that information will be provided by your colleagues, or else your basis is going to provide, guys. So maybe this is my server, and this is my server. So this is the server IP address and instance number and system ID. Okay, suppose if I want to create my own icon for the server, just click on create. So here you can see there is a create, and go to the next, and here I will SAP uh, dev. This is my development server, and my IP address is what is the IP address? So I'm giving some dummy 192.168.1.10. Okay, let's assume this is my the host, and system ID is dev. Okay, so this information, don't worry about this information. You are going to receive this information from the basis or your colleagues, or there is a project induction document. From there also we are going to mention. It's all based on the company guidelines or project guidelines. So sometimes it will be provided by your colleagues, sometimes it will be provided by your basis, sometimes it will be provided by your lead, or sometimes whenever you join and you are going to get a document, induction document, that induction document you are going to get this information and just finish it. And here you can see there is an A1 server, SAP dev dummy server, guys. So that's what you need to configure over the here, guys, and delete it. So it's a dummy, I am deleting. My actual server is the SAP EC server. And if you want to access, even you need to request for the user ID and password. And so there you are going to get unique user ID and password, guys. In the companies, we will not be having duplicate IDs. Every employee will have their own user ID. So here we are using only one user ID for the for our demo scenarios. SAP user, and I have my password 1234. And see, guys, I'm getting a pop-up. Why? I read this pop-up and tell me why I'm getting this. See, continue with this logon and end any other logon system when ending the existing logons to the system. So this is the option. Suppose with the same user ID, if you have multiple logons, so if you want to end other logons, you need to select this. If you don't want to end other logons, and if you want to continue your work, and select the second radio button, guys. So in our lab, always use this second radio button. Don't select the first radio button. Suppose if other students are practicing, they are going to get an error, guys. It's a timeout error they are going to get it. When you practice in the lab, definitely you need to click on this second radio button. And this is my first SAP screen, guys. This not this one. This is my first SAP screen. So here in the screen also there are different type of areas. So here you can see, this bar we are going to call it's a menu bar. Okay, this bar we are going to call it's a menu bar. And this is a command a command field. And this is a title bar. You can see there is a title SAP easy access. This is the title bar. And this is a standard application toolbar. And this area total area we are going to call it's a main area. And also in the last time, whenever the user is logged some sales order, you are getting some messages over here. So this is we are going to call it's a status bar, guys. This is the first screen. So this is the menu bar, this is the command field, this is the standard toolbar, this is the standard application toolbar. Yeah, this is the title bar. SAP easy access is the title bar. This is the main area. This is the status bar, guys. So maybe better what we can do is I'm going to take the uh, okay, function print screen. And maybe so see here. So this bar I'm going to call, this is the bar. And this bar I'm going to call it's in a text. I want a text, guys. How can you get the text? Yeah, where is yeah. So this is my text, right? This is my menu bar. That's it. Okay, next one is, this is the one. Yeah, so this is my, maybe I can have other colors. And this is my uh, command field. And this is my standard. Oh, yellow is not good, so maybe we'll go the red. Standard toolbar. And this is the title bar. And this is the this bar. This bar means total this bar. This is the application toolbar. And this total area is the main area. So the total area is the main area, guys. And here you can see there is a status bar. The bottom one is the status bar. Bottom one is the status bar, guys. This is my screen. SAP GUI, SAP graphical user uh, interface. With this, we can access SAP application. It's a SAP client tool. First screen of SAP. So this is the first screen of the SAP, guys. Okay. So this is my first screen of the SAP, and come here, and also you can see there are some buttons back and forth, guys. SAP, the one thing is the screen navigation also very important, but that it will come based on your practice. When you do the more practice, it is easy only. The first time maybe you may face some problems going to the next and coming back to the previous screens. You may confuse in the initial days, but after 1 month or 20 days, if you do the more practice, it is very easy to do the screen navigation. But initial days, I will go to that screen, I will come back this screen, back screen and all. So you may confuse, but later you are going to when you do the practice, you are going to habituate on the screen flow. Here you can see this is my menu bar. So suppose if you want to do something with the menu bar, I can go to the menu bar and I can do the things. And suppose if I want to go back and if I want to close this session, I'm going to use this. But this is like a, so where you are going to enter URL, right? So in the normal web browsers, here if I want to access the SAP application, so this command field I'm going to use it. And every application there is a transaction code, guys. For every application in SAP there is a transaction code. Otherwise the total transaction is the, so we need to go normally like this SAP reference image. Maybe if I want to access something, not the pro, come back, come to the initial screen. So here I have some tools. Go to the tools and ABAP workbench and development and SCA 38, guys. So if I want to go, if I want to write some program, if I go with the navigation, I need to come to the SAP menu bar and I need to go to the tools. I need to go to the development and I need to go to the ABAP editor. So click on this, you will get an ABAP editor. This is one of my applications. See, this is my title bar of my application. But so we will go. So this navigation we will remember. If you want to go to each and applications, it's very difficult to remember the navigation. That's why SAP has given a shortcuts. The transaction code is the shortcut. So if I want to write some program, this is the shortcut SC38. Instead of going with all the navigation, I can go with the directly shortcut. So SC38, I'm going to open that application, guys. That's a transaction code. So the next one is the transaction code. Transaction codes. It provides direct access to the application. Direct access to the application, guys. So in SAP total, every application, most of the 90% of the applications are transactions. So every application you are going to use one transaction code, guys. Okay, that's a very important. And suppose if I want to build the program, I have a transaction code. My transaction code is the SE38. It's an ABAP editor. And if you want to build ABAP programs, okay, so this is my ABAP editor. And also, guys, control Z, ABAP editor, guys. So let's build our first program. See, come back. I'm coming to the back screen and see, I'm going to enter the transaction code again, SE38. I would like to build some program. It's a SE38 and enter. See, I'm going to build the programs in this transaction, guys. So if you want to build the programs, even SAP, what exactly the SAP? SAP is in a product. Almost SAP has given um, 55 lakhs programs, guys, for all the 60 plus industries. SAP has given 55 lakhs programs. So if you want to see that, go to the SE16 and go to the TRDIR uh, and maybe and do the number of entries and see, guys, one tens, hundreds, thousands, and thousands, 10,000s, and lakhs, and see 55 lakhs programs SAP has given. SAP has given 55 lakhs programs to the all these 26 industries and 65 plus modules. Definitely there is a standard programs, right? But how do you differentiate whether it is in a standard program or whether it is in a custom program? So that's why SAP has given a clear separations from the their own programs and as well as the customer programs. The clear separation is SAP, uh, all SAP standard programs will start with, okay, letter with first letter, okay, A to X, guys. So this is the reserved naming conventions for the SAP standard programs. But if you want to build your own programs, so SAP will allow for the custom programs or customer programs, whatever is the same. So you need to start the first letter with Z or Y, guys. Z or Y. So if you want to build your program, you need to go with Z or you need to go with Y. So maybe my naming convention is always Z, guys. So most of the companies will use normal report programs, they start with Z, and conversion program they start with Y. But it's not a restriction, guys. It's their own guidelines. That's in a client guidelines. That's in a company guidelines. But if you want to build Y programs, yes, no problem, you can build it. Even I have seen some of the companies, they start with Y only for all the programs. Okay, so you can start with Z or you can start with Y, guys. So now I am going to the here. So my first letter should be, if I want to build, Z only, guys. And I have my own naming convention, EDZ. This is my batch 8. I'm going to start with the 8, guys. Why? Because so I should, if I, after 10 days or 100 days, what is the program for the object oriented ABAP? So I should be able to search that. So that's why I'm giving my own naming convention. It is my batch 8 and the first program. Okay, so this is my ABAP first program. So since it's my own program, I need to start the first letter with the Z. And so this is the first time you need to create the program. If it is already created the program, you need to change the program. Suppose if you want to display the program, you can display the program. But this is my first time I am creating, and maybe I will try to do the change here. See, so in the status bar, it is saying the program is does not exist. Why? Because we are not yet created the program, and create the program. Yeah. So here you can see there is a title of the program. See, here you are going to get some titles, right? Suppose if you run your program, if you want to get this title, you need to provide a title over here, guys. So demo for ABAP first program. And here you can see there are different type of programs. So blindly you select executable program, guys. So this is the entire course content. We are going to talk about all these program types, what exactly they include, what exactly the module pool, what is the exactly the function group, subroutine pool, class pool, type pool. So all these things, these are additional things, HANA related stuff. So this is a new invention, before it is not there. And I'm going to select executable program. So first blindly select. So now you are the child in ABAP. First we'll start with executable program and save in the local object. Okay, guys. So parallelly, what is the next thing is, so whenever you start, suppose if you want to write some program, it's not only in ABAP, guys, it's in a common sutra or common formula. So what you need to think about, so first I need to build in a program. I don't know the anything how to start the program. Most of the people will struggle here, so what to start and where to start. So okay, for that reason I have an one formula, guys. So always keep remember the three boxes. One is this, and second one, and third one, and this is my three boxes. And always think about the input. What is the input for my program? Okay, what is my input for my program? And also I should know what is the output for my program, and also what logic I need to build, and process processing logic. Okay, so what is the processing logic for my program? So you have to keep in these three boxes. So what is input, and what is my output, and what is my processing logic, and also what is the data I need to fetch from the database. What is the data I need to fetch from the database? From the processing logic, I have a connection. I have a connection to the sorry. So from processing logic, I am going to do some operations. I am going to get the data. I am going to get the data. This is my connection. So this figure you need to understand. So what is input? What is my processing logic? What is output? And what is database? And with this picture, I am going to talk a lot of concepts, guys. So this is a picture you need to remember. With this picture, I am going to talk a number of concepts. So if you understand this picture, it is very easy, not only in ABAP, so in other languages also, guys. So if you want to learn, this is my formula, guys. I have my own formulas to remember the concepts. So I will always remember this picture. So this is input, this is my processing logic, this is my output, and this is my database. What is the database concepts, and what is the input concepts, and what is the output concept, what is the processing logic concepts. So I will segregate the concepts based on this picture. So first I am going to introduce very simple things, and my output commands. What kind of output commands I will use in the ABAP program, guys. So maybe in the C, if you want to print something, what command you are going to use? Uh, what command you will use in C? Printf is the command, right? So here in ABAP, if you want to print some data, we are going to use write statement, guys. This is our first command in the ABAP. If you want to print the data, we are going to use a write command. Write to print the data on the output screen. To print the data in output screen, guys. Okay, slowly we will talk slowly from basics. We'll start. Okay, first we'll start with the easy, then we will talk the more advanced concepts in the above, guys. Print the data. To print the data on the output output. So this is the right command. And suppose, guys, if you want to have colors to your life, we need to have colors. So the format colors, this is also one of the command which I will use to provide the colors to the output. To provide the colors to the output. Okay, so these two commands we will use in today's class. That's it. We'll start the remaining concepts in the tomorrow's class, guys. Maybe I am going to use, first I am going to write and write. So guys, and yeah, so welcome to EDZ, EDZ technologies. And this is my right statement, guys. First statement, and welcome to the EDZ technologies, and activate your program. So activate the program. The first program, just I'm introducing what exactly the SAP and all. and execute. See, now you see the output, the data. Welcome to the EDG technologies on the output screen. Suppose if I want to have colors, maybe I can apply the colors format color. And what is the green color? Last batch students 5, I think. Yeah, the color codes we have 1 to 7, and the format color off and execute. And execute. See the color I have applied on the output. But you might be having some doubts in your mind, I think. So what he is doing, why he is keeping the dot in the end, and why he has used single quotes, and why he is doing the off. Maybe you will be having a lot of doubts as a fresher, guys. So maybe uh, he knows the subject, that's why he's not getting any syntax errors. But will I get the syntax errors? So if I get the syntax errors, what I need to do? So to avoid all this, maybe you need to follow some thumb rules. If you want to write an ABAP program, so you need to follow some thumb rules, guys. Like this my formula, I have some thumb rules to make you easy and to comfortable with the ABAP. So my ABAP thumb rules, ABAP thumb rules. So my first thumb rule is every ABAP statement must end with period. So period, guys. Every ABAP statement must end with the period. So even here we are going to talk about the, so if you want to become a programmer, definitely you should know some symbols as well, guys. Maybe some other experienced people it may be more. So you should know about the this keyboard symbols as well. Okay, if you don't know the keyboard symbols, you cannot write the programs. So tell me, what is the period symbol? Tell me, what is the, yeah, wait, what is the period symbol? You already attended. So what is the period symbol? So this is the dot, guys. Dot is a period symbol. Dot we are going to call it's in a period, it's not a dot, guys. The technical term is the period for that dot. Okay, now tell me, what is this symbol? What is this symbol? What is this symbol? Huh? Okay, so this is the parenthesis. And now you tell me, what is this symbol then? So it's all mathematics, guys. Huh? Yeah, so you are coming to that, it's in a curly braces, right? And what is this? Matrix. Matrix, yeah, brackets, perfect. You can say both square bracket or brackets. Okay, then what is this? These are all we are going to use in this course, guys. That's why I am talking about this. Okay, you should know the technical terms. When you go to the corporate offices, you should be a professional, so you should remember these symbols. So what is this symbol then? So I'm not good in the spellings. Excla, excla spell is I, excla, s, exclamation, perfect. Yeah, sorry, exclamation. And the next one is uh, then what is this symbol? This also we are going to use. What is this symbol? What is this vertical pole? What is this symbol? Yeah, pipe, perfect. And next we are going to use this. What is this symbol? Okay, semi colon. And next symbol, mm, and this is the uh, colon. This is the colon, guys. So heavily we are going to use. So our course is ABAP and ABAP on HANA, SQL script, JavaScript, and Fury. So we are going to use all these symbols, guys. So symbols are very, very important. So my ABAP, every ABAP statement must end with the period. So this is my period, guys. That's why now I will explain the concept. See, at the end, the total is one statement. So in the end, I put in a period. In the total, one statement. In the end, I put in a period. And the total statement in the end, I put in a period. Suppose if you don't put the period in the end, see red. So you are getting this error. And see, guys, this is my error. This is my error. Okay, this is my first thumb rule, guys. My first thumb rule. Next thumb rule. Second thumb rule is every text or literal should be in single quotes. Single quotes. Suppose if I have any text that should be in the single quotes. So here my single quote, maybe I can say Prabhas. So employee name is Prabhas. So I should keep that in the single quotes, guys. I should keep that in the single quotes. So every text or literal should be in the single quote. Next thing is, and next thing is, and uh, guys, ABAP is in a space sensitive. ABAP is in a space sensitive, guys. What is exactly the space? So each and every word I have in a space in between. I have in a space, and each and every word I have in a space. Each and every word I have in a space, guys. That's an ABAP space sensitive. Otherwise, it will give an syntactical error. Otherwise, it will give a syntactical error. Suppose let's take an example of if I combine like this, it gives a syntax error, guys. That's what the space sensitive. ABAP is a space sensitive. Okay, are you clear on this? And next one is ABAP is ABAP is non-case sensitive. Non-case sensitive, and that means what is non-case sensitive? Okay, edit. So why is the I should put in a period. Yeah. So here what I am going to do is, and the first letter I am going to write in a uppercase, and the second letter I have written in a lowercase, and third letter I have written in a uppercase. So I have a lowercase as well as uppercase, but there is no problem in ABAP. So in case of in the JavaScript, it is problem, guys. So JavaScript is in a case sensitive. So where if it is small, you need to use small only. If it is caps, you need to use caps only. But where in ABAP, it's not a case sensitive. It's a non-case sensitive, guys. That's an ABAP is a non-case sensitive. And from here, I'm going to use some keywords. So after you write your program, you need to save the program. First thing, and the controls are control keyword shortcuts. Control S is the keyword, guys. Control S is the keyword. See, so what I did in the previous, after I write the program, I did a save here. So here there is a button as well as there is a shortcut. If you can see, Control S is the shortcut. So save the program. Whenever you save the program will be stored in the not database layer. Yeah, that's the thing. So here the difference is that will be saved in the RAM level only. The application layer level only it will be saved. Suppose if you want to save that program in the database level, then you need to do an activate, guys. So whenever you activate the program, see this is my symbol activation. Whenever you activate this program, so that time the data will be, the program will be stored in the database layer. That's the activation purpose in the ABAP. And first you need to save the program. Even you need to do a syntax check, guys. You can do the syntax check. You can see here check. So do the check, and it is providing no syntax errors found. So do the syntax check, and here you can see here you can click on this button if you use mouse, and if you want to use the shortcut, Control F2 is the shortcut. Okay, simple these things maybe. Next one is the check syntax. Check syntax. It's the control plus F2, F2 and activate program. Whenever you activate the program, so the program will be saved in the database. Control plus F3. So purpose, so even I will give here the definition. Whenever activate the program, not only program, whenever we activate any object, it stores in the database, guys. That's an activation, guys. And next one is, suppose here this is the code which I don't want. Maybe you have written some code which is not working, and or else, so there isn't a functionality, business explained, you have implemented that functionality, and again after some days he comes back, I don't need this functionality. So are you going to delete that code? So don't delete, guys. Comment it. Suppose if you delete it again, maybe some other comes, yes, that functionality I want. So what you will do? So again you need to write it, right? But so don't delete the code. Instead of delete, and do the comment the code. So if you want to comment the code, and the shortcut is uh, uh, sorry, control comment code, control plus less than, control plus less than symbol, guys. Control plus less than. Suppose if you want to do an uncomment that, uncomment, and control reverse, control plus greater than, control plus greater than, guys. I think, yeah, that's the some of my ABAP thumb rules which you need to remember. So if you remember these concepts, so you can easily start your programs, guys. You can easily start your programs. You will not be getting any syntax errors, guys. So tell me now, do you need C language? Do you need C++? Do you need Java to learn the above technology? No, guys, we need to start from the basics and fundamentals. You can use easily learn the above. Just from your end is, just make some efforts on daily basis, and after 4 months you will be in a expert mode in the, not expert, you will be in good good technical mode after 4 months, guys. Okay, maybe if you want to be expert, maybe you can spend 14 to 15 hours per day, so you will become an expert in the 4 months. That's it for today's class. Do you have any questions? See, if you have any questions, please ask. Okay, otherwise, you will be suffering with the doubts, right? So no problem, if you have any doubts you can ask. And also don't feel shy, because this is the platform where you can improve. Suppose some people will be having some stage fear, or some communication problems and all. So this is a platform, if you speak up, maybe when you go for interviews it will be very easy to handle the interviews. No? Okay, that's it for today's class. Thank you. Bye bye. See you tomorrow.